Greetings, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. And yes, I was scrolling around YouTube's as I do, and I saw boom, two videos about how we're misunderstood. And I thought, yeah, well, I'm going to take that as a sign because, sure, we're misunderstood. There's really good reasons for that, though. I mean, the primary reason is that most people aren't INFJs. Right? I mean, there's only like 1.5% of the population is an INFJ. That's not very many people. So most people aren't wired like us, so it's no surprise that we would be misunderstood. And it is a cross to bear. In fact, it's especially painful because of the extroverted feeling. You know, we can understand others. We can totally get where they're coming from and what's motivating them and what they want, what they desire. All of it's clear to us, and in many cases we may be able to provide it to them as well. So we can be the whole package for others. But meanwhile, people don't really get what's motivating us in a lot of cases, at least at a deep level. They might superficially think they know us, and that's pretty common. Because, as you know, if you're an INFJ, there's a lot of times you're just giving people, if it's not a full-fledged facade that you're projecting, which is totally possible. I mean, INFJs are natural actors. If it's not a totally fleshed out facade that you're projecting, you're just giving people a little bit of your persona, just enough that they'll be satisfied that they know you. Now, some people are more perceptive, and they might wonder, well, how come INFJ over there isn't really talking about themselves very much? And they might start asking us questions. And frankly, I think we like those kind of people. We don't mind answering questions. Usually, I think we just stay reserved because, from experience, we understand that most people don't want to know, can't understand. And like so many things that people cannot understand, understanding usually requires the desire to know. It requires the desire to understand. And without that, it's a useless battle. And so it's a fight we just don't fight unless, we're some kind of on some kind of martyr trip, which can happen to the INFJ, totally can. I don't really think that's a productive line, though, because really the whole martyr thing, I mean, unless you're some kind of martyr for an actual cause, but being a martyr because you're misunderstood, that's just an ego trip. And we are, I know Ren's got a new book. I don't know if I'm going to buy it or not. It's about introverted intuition, and I got a lot from his first book, less from his second, but still valuable. This third book, it's quite abstract, and it's gone very deep into the psychoanalysis aspect of the, being an INFJ, or he's broadening his net, so now he's bringing in the INTJs, which is fine. He could be one himself as far as I know. I don't know. I may get it at some point. I'm kind of busy right now. I certainly respect the man and his thinking, and I certainly do want to know more about introverted intuition, so I probably will get it. But one thing he was saying is that a lot of what motivates us is ego, but a certain type of ego, a certain expression of it, not maybe the lower form, but potentially the higher form, the form that desires realization, or desires, if it's desires understanding, it desires understanding because we want a two-way, we want or multiple communication between ourselves and others. And let's face it, if you feel like you're misunderstood and it's really bothering you, well, why do you need to be understood? If you think about it, yes, it's perfectly natural that you would want to be, of course, but worth examining. Why is it? What is it that you would get by being understood, and how many people need to understand you, and for how long? Right? Oh, well, that's beside the point. No, no, it's the entire point. And that's why I pretty much don't care myself about being understood by anyone. I just assume I won't be, and I get on with making my art and my music and my writing and doing things like we do here on this channel, attending the temple and being an oracle. That's my job. That's what I do. Also, if you say you are an oracle, you're a visionary. Who's going to understand an oracle or a visionary except a god, right? So, yeah. Now that all that said, I feel your pain. I've been there, and I was a young person, and it does hurt to be misunderstood, especially say it's going from misunderstood, not really caring, to people actually thinking, misjudging your intentions. That can happen to us, and that's a byproduct, of course, of people not knowing what we're about and not really understanding. Of course, if they're that involved with us, they could make a little bit of an effort and understand us. But let's just say people think that you have malicious, ulterior motives for some reason, and you don't, because most of us don't. Most of us just want the best for others, the best for ourselves. I don't think INFJs are naturally that selfish. We can be a bit self-serving, but a lot of that is a posture that we've had to adopt because of our separateness, because we are often our own little category. And the thing I would say is that's one thing that's wonderful about the modern world is we know that there's a space on YouTube, and I'm sure places like Reddit and other places, for INFJs to communicate with their fellows and be understood, be heard, and be accepted. Even though we're all very different, we tend to be wired the same way, and for that reason we tend to often care about the same sorts of things. And that speaks to a video I put up recently. I knew it wasn't going to get that many views, and I don't care, because all I was really talking about there was art, and art is just one of the things that INFJs can do. Not all, I wouldn't say, in fact, INFJs are natural born artists. I would say that if it's something we turn our mind and attention to, we can be amongst the best ever anywhere. But we're not, our type isn't called the artist. I believe that would be the ISTP, possibly, or it could be ISFP. I'm not real sure. But my sister, she's a dragon too. She's one of those types. I think I would put her as an ISFP. But even then, what does that mean? Well, that's a sensor type. And sensors can make fine artists. I've had students that were sensors, and they were fine artists. They were quite good. They come at the whole situation from another place than we do. I think for us, we can start to accrue the skills necessary to be a great artist. But at a deeper level, our motivations aren't necessarily going to be the same as the sensors, right? Speaking of being misunderstood, that goes to the sensor video we had that long ago. In some cases, a sensor type is just not going to be able to understand an intuitive type very well at all. They think we're abstract and intentionally obtuse, or just weird, different. And there's a lot more of them than there are of us. So the world leans more that direction. And, sensing is easier to understand. It's all laid out in front of you. And life is going to be a bit easier, I think, for a sensor because of that. Or maybe it won't. Don't know. But the fact that you're an INFJ and that you are predominantly leaning on your intuitive function to navigate this reality stream makes you, kind of rare, and nothing to be overly proud of, just a fact to note. And, just deal with it. Deal with being misunderstood too. And until we come back with another video in a couple days, do me a favor, INFJs. Keep on keeping on.